Hey guys, what's up? It's once again MP4podcast.com, and I'm going to give you my thoughts and my opinion on the Xbox One, show that happened yesterday. And I'm going to tell you straight out, I wasn't all that impressed. I mean, all they talked about was television, television, television. And there's even a video on YouTube right now that they probably said the word television like 300 times. And they said something like, your Xbox is going to be like your water cooler or something like that. And, and in the end of the video was like, Xbox done. I feel like I'm done with Xbox. And I'm going to be quite honest about why I like different consoles for certain reasons. I like the Xbox controller better than the PS3 controller for first-person shooters. So if I'm playing a first-person shooter, I prefer the Xbox controller. I like how the analog sticks are on a different axis. But when I play fighting games, I prefer the PS3 controller. I hate the D-pad on the Xbox 360. Alright, I have a friend who loves the Xbox 360, and he buys all his fighting games, but he uses the Street Fighter controller. So, there's workarounds, but for me, I just get the PS3 versions. And here's the thing about the Xbox One that just drove me insane. Your Kinect always needs to be hooked up. Alright? Why does it need to be hooked up if you're going to play a game with a controller? Alright? Why do you need that? Alright? That seems a little over the top. And you get this big giant brick on top of your television set. You got below your TV or whatever. A lot of people don't have room for the Kinect. That's why a lot of people don't want it. I mean, if you're in your bedroom, you get a little bit of space with a table or whatever, you don't want a Kinect, all right? You don't want a Kinect. Maybe you have a small living room and you have a ceiling fan. Do you really want a Kinect? Probably not. I mean, a friend of mine he loves his Xbox 360 Kinect, and he plays with his two kids. He has to move the coffee table out of the way and push the couches back. Actually, Angry Joe talked about his same experience with the Xbox Kinect. You can probably find his video on his channel or something like that. He had to move his coffee table, move his couches back, and all that other jargon. But that's not the end of it, or why I'm not happy with the Xbox One. Alright? Now, word's going around on how they're going to work out this, who owns what or whatever. And we all remember the rumors that were going around that the Xbox 720, well, that's what they were calling it at the time, had to be online all the time. And now what we're hearing is the Xbox One has to go online at least once a day, maybe for 10 seconds, 20 seconds. It has to go and check with the mother brain. I'll call it Skynet. Microsoft version of Skynet. So every day, once a day, it has to go online and check with Skynet. And the reason why they want your Xbox One to check in with Skynet is because, let's say, for instance, I play Call of Duty Ghost. I buy it for $60, blah, blah, blah. Maybe you're going to have to input a code. Maybe it's going to have a chip on the disc. Or maybe it's going to have a burnt-in serial number, burned into the actual disc. So Microsoft is going to say, okay, MP4podcast.com, he owns Call of Duty Ghost with the serial number, blah, blah, blah. All right? MP4podcast.com, he's tired of playing Call of Duty Ghost. I'm going to take my copy, trade it in at GameStop, Best Buy, whatever. And somebody is going to buy that copy. So maybe I can get away with playing it for a day or two or whatever until somebody buys that copy. Maybe I won't. And I'm not trying to pay for games and not play them. That's not what I'm saying. But when somebody else buys the copy that I used to own, they're going to put that disc in their console. And their Xbox One is going to read that serial number, blah, blah, blah. Alright? So their Xbox is going to send data back to Skynet with that serial number. And that's going to be logged into Skynet. And when my Xbox goes online, my Xbox is going to know that I got rid of that game. And it's going to deactivate me able to play the install of my copy. And again, I don't have a problem with not playing something that I no longer own. I prefer the Xbox 360 method where you need the disc in the console. So I install a lot of my games to my Xbox 360 hard drive. But I have the disc in there, right? And, you know, so... But I don't have to have internet. It's not like I have to deal with internet problems and so on. There's times where the internet doesn't like to work, and everybody has had these problems. And I guess it's gotten better with internet services from Verizon, Comcast. But I can tell you, people have internet problems, all right? And I will say this, if you're somebody who's having internet problems, my favorite brand of router is Linksys, sorry. Linksys. I love Linksys. I got the highest end version of the consumer router, and I think I had to reset it once in the last year. It's rock solid. Now, I've been reading a lot of these comments on Reddit, blogs, and so on, you know, whatever. And I was reading a very interesting post that somebody else wrote. And this person was talking about how this person moved to a new apartment. And for 2 weeks, this person could not get internet service because he had to order it from Comcast or Verizon, RCN, whatever, and get an install guy out. And he said, you know, if he had an Xbox One, he wouldn't be able to play his games for about 2 weeks or so on. Because remember, the Xbox One has to go online once a day. Another thing that worries me about the Xbox One, what happens when these servers, if these servers ever do go offline? And people are like, well, why would they take them offline? He goes, that's never going to happen, blah, blah. Xbox Original, I'm talking about the old, ugly one, those servers went offline. PS2 servers went offline. Dreamcast servers went offline. GameCube servers went offline. Yeah, there were, I think there was Phantasy Star, which was the only game that was online for the GameCube. But they went offline, alright? And people who bought DLC for Xbox Original, which I used to call Xbox One, you can't download that DLC anymore. Maybe your hard drive broke on your old Xbox Original. You can't get that Splinter Cell DLC anymore. It's gone. You can't get the patches for Street Fighter vs. Capcom. It's gone. You know, and it's going to happen with the PS3 eventually. The stuff you bought, if the PS3 servers go offline, you're going to be screwed. You're going to be SOL. There's probably something in the terms of service I haven't bothered to read, but, you know, they're going to go offline. Maybe even iOS will go offline for some odd reason, you know. Maybe Apple will come up with a brand new operating system, 10 years or whatever. They've been running Unix for a really long time. Maybe they won't. I don't know, but think about it. If you like collecting physical copies, and you're a collector, there's people on YouTube who have amazing video game collections. I mean, they build rooms that are designed to showcase their stuff. I mean, some of these guys are woodworkers, actually. There's a guy, I think, called, I can't remember his name, Nostal, whatever. Let's see if I can find it. This guy built a bench that looks like an 8-bit Nintendo, alright? You have to understand that these people like collecting, buying these consoles, these old games. What's going to happen to the Xbox One collection 20 years from now, 15 years from now? Will those servers still be online? Will you lose your investment in your games? Will Microsoft do it? When the system's about to die, will they do an update? Say, okay, no more checking, no more DRM checking. You know, we're gonna let the system be like the Xbox 360 and all the other consoles. Another thing that really, really bothers me about the Xbox One is that they're not going to be that friendly to indie publishers. You know, people that program games, 99% of them are for Windows, on Steam, on the Source, on these other indie platformers. They're not going to be embracing these guys like they kind of did on the Xbox 360. Now on the PS3 side of things, they're going to be able to allow indie developers just to publish games on, I say PS3, PS4. And it's going to be more like Google Play or Google Market, whatever they're calling it now. And Xbox One is going to be a little bit more like iOS, where they have to approve all these games. And the approval process can be a good or a bad thing, because sometimes you get about a bunch of junk that gets into the marketplace. But sometimes there are good games where people will, at Xbox, will just reject. Oh, I don't like this game. I don't like that fighting game. You know, I know people who don't like Injustice. I like it. But people who don't like it, they're entitled to their opinion. It's not for them. Other people like this game. Some people like Mortal Kombat. Some people like Street Fighter. Some people like 2K football, which is no longer made. Some people like Madden. People have different taste, okay? So that could be a problem with the Xbox One, with the indie games. With the PS4, it's going to allow people just to port games, no problem. Now, don't get me wrong. The DRM checking, it's in the PS4 the way it is for the Xbox One. But Sony themselves has said that they will not do this with their own games, but they're going to allow third-party titles to do this. So if EA wants to do this with Battlefield, they can do that. But the good thing about it is you'll know which games are doing this and which games aren't. So you can tell the publisher, screw you, I'm not buying your game. Alright? And the problem with this is that if you have a game, now there's another guy on YouTube who has kids, and he says he doesn't want to do this with Xbox One if he lets his son play a Need for Speed game, where that Need for Speed is tied to his gamer tag. So he would have to go into his son's room and sign in under a guest so his son can play the game. And then it's going to be a pain. And I'm going to tell you somebody who wasn't that thrilled with the Wii U launch up. I'm hoping the Wii U does get better. Now I know the Wii U isn't made to compete with the Xbox One or the PS4, but I feel like I would rather support the Wii U after what I know about the Xbox One. And I'll probably be getting the PS4. I'm hoping Microsoft changes their ways and how they're doing this. And I'm going to tell you, I didn't care at all about any of the TV features. I'm somebody who comes home, I want to watch some Netflix, I'll watch some Netflix, alright? I want to watch some YouTube videos on Xbox, that's about it. You know, there's a little bit of HBO Go with Games of Thrones. I know that people are interested in. I'm so far behind on Game for Thrones. I haven't even watched one episode of Games of Thrones. I want to watch that show. I just told myself, I thought about it. You know, a lot of people are talking about. My friends are talking about it. I'm just like, I should probably just buy the first season on Blu-ray and be done with it, and then get into the series that way. Because I don't want to order HBO just to, watch a season or so on and then not own anything. And I know people have gone into the same problem with Dexter, Sopranos, and so on. I'll just get the DVDs. I'll start with season 1, work my way up. But that's what, this whole thing about Xbox One just drives me crazy. It was all about TV. We saw a few things that were about gaming, Ghost, we can make the Texas really sharp on the gun. You see that little corner right there? Yeah, like Angry Joe said it best. Like, yeah, we know there's jaggies on some of these games already. But big deal. I mean, and the other thing about this whole television thing, what I'm hearing is that only 5 gigs is going to be dedicated for the games. The other 4 games is 3 gigs or 2 gigs or whatever it is. There's going to be system RAM, and then there's game RAM, and the other RAM is going to be tied up to connect, so on, where there's going to be more RAM dedicated toward gaming in general with the PS4. The other thing, Cliffy B, who was really tight with Microsoft because he was designing Gears of War, I mean, Cliffy B worked on Gears of War 1, 2, and 3. He might have done Judgment, but I'm not quite sure. He might have left when they started that game. I don't really quite know, but he had actually gone on record and says that he believes that the PS4 will win the console war. And he said it's all because of the share button. Able to share videos. Alright? And he seems to be somebody who gets the whole YouTube thing. What's going on with YouTube, people watching videos and so on. You know, I know that he seems to be a little bit on the side of Microsoft, where he kind of likes that all that DRM all the time, from what I've heard other people talk about. So I don't know, maybe some of these stories or rumors could be false. I met Cliffy B for a second at PAX. He seemed like a really cool guy. He was really nice to me. And it was just something where somebody walked in front of my camera when I was filming something, and I looked behind myself just to make sure that nobody else was in the way before I start recording. And Cliffy B was there, and he was just like, dude, just film. I get it. You need to film? Go ahead, dude. Film. And I was just like, that's really cool. You know, somebody who's that big was nice to somebody like me who was a nobody. You know. So, you know, maybe people take things out of context or whatever. Maybe Cliffy B likes this DRM. I don't know. Maybe he's somebody who likes it. Maybe they're looking at the numbers and they're saying, okay, all these games are being traded in, blah, blah, blah. All these games are being traded in. And you know what? Next generation's coming up. We need to hire more people. And a lot of these companies, smaller developers, they can't afford all these people. All right? So maybe people are just getting fed up with that. So maybe I understand where he's coming from. I don't agree with the DRM. I do agree with them on the share button with the PS4. Now, the Xbox One, they did talk about sharing videos and uploading it, but they didn't say anything about YouTube or Ustream. It seemed like you had to be on Xbox One to be able to look at all these other videos, I'm guessing. But it does seem like they do have like a video editor built in. I don't know. I hope Microsoft can clear up some of this confusion. But anyway, guys, this has been MP4podcast.com signing out. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Once again, if you're new to my videos, subscribe. I'm always making new videos, guys. Later, guys. Bye.